Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take complex topics and, well, break them down into digestible insights for you. Today, we're plunging into the 2019 film Anna, directed by Luc Besson.
Hmm.
We've gathered a pretty fascinating set of sources for this deep dive, including some really insightful academic takes on strong female characters and abuse in the movie Anna 2019.
Right, some really chewy stuff there.
Definitely. Our mission today is to really try and understand how this film attempts to portray a powerful female lead, Anna Politova, while at the same time grappling with these profound themes of abuse and exploitation.
It's quite a balancing act.
It really is. It's a movie that sparked a lot of discussion for some very good reasons, and we're going to unpack exactly why. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with Anna herself, played by Sasha Less. Our sources describe her as a, quote, modern iteration of strong female protagonists.
Okay.
But what is it about her that makes her strong, and maybe what makes her so captivating, especially when she's, let's face it, a highly skilled and often ruthless assassin?
Yeah, what's truly insightful here, I think, is how Anna kind of challenges that very definition of a strong female character. Sure, she is indeed a relentless killer, a really formidable operative within the KGB, but her strength isn't really about invincibility, is it?
No, not at all.
The film deeply explores her internal conflict, showing her grappling with these profound feelings of entrapment and the desire for independence. Her power, the film sort of suggests, is less about pure agency and maybe more about survival within a cage, which fundamentally shifts how we might understand strength on screen.
That's a great point. So it's not just about her physical prowess.
Not just that, it's about her whole psychological journey, from being a struggling market seller to this incredibly complex figure.
So her strength isn't just the fighting, but it's about navigating this perilous, often terrifying world she's in. Our research really indicates her journey is fundamentally shaped by a traumatic past. And the sources dig into these psychological scars. How do these really deep experiences, particularly the abuse inflicted by her brother, how do they actually shape her choices and motivations throughout the film? More than just backstory, right?
Oh, absolutely central. We connect this to the bigger picture. Her past experiences are presented as completely core to who she is.
Yeah.
This trauma, it manifests as defense mechanisms, often propelling her towards relationships with dominant figures.
Right.
She sees this, kind of paradoxically, as a way to reclaim a sense of power, maybe a desperate attempt to gain control in a world where she feels she has none.
Like she's trying to control the uncontrollable.
Exactly. The film suggests she often feels like a pawn in the deadly games played by powerful organizations. And that's not just a plot device. It's depicted as this constant struggle for autonomy, for self-determination against these huge, overwhelming forces.
So we've seen how Anna's internal world is this kind of battleground, really shaped by deep trauma. But this isn't just happening inside her head. It profoundly impacts her external relationships, too. Let's maybe shift focus now to how these dynamics, particularly with figures like her mentor, Olga.
Ah, yes, Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, right. How does that relationship maybe illuminate the world she inhabits and her own struggle for autonomy?
Well, their relationship within the KGB, it's characterized by this mixture of admiration and wariness.
Intriguing mix.
It is. Essentially, Olga's initial skepticism towards Anna's youth and maybe her inexperience, it highlights the tricky tightrope women often have to walk to maintain power and credibility in these very male-dominated environments like the KGB.
Yeah, you can see that.
It really reveals the significant challenges women face in just asserting their agency and earning respect in such a harsh world. It's a very complicated mentorship, not straightforward at all.
It sounds like a tough world she navigates, but it's not just the spy games, is it? The sources also highlight some much darker, more personal relationship dynamics for Anna,
Yeah.
specifically focusing on codependency and unhealthy patterns. This really hits home, doesn't it? How does the film actually depict this, especially with her boyfriend?
Yeah, this raises a really important question about the cycle of abuse. The film notably depicts Anna's interactions with her boyfriend, who is implied to be physically and verbally abusive.
Okay.
What's striking here is how it illustrates that victims may, paradoxically, feel drawn to the very dynamics that harm them.
Wow.
And this isn't just treated as a plot point. It feels like a profound psychological observation the film is making. It suggests that these entrenched patterns ultimately hinder their ability to break free from cycles of abuse, creating a kind of deeper trap than any spy agency could devise.
Given how deeply Anna's trauma seems to shape her character, her relationships, it's clear the film is really grappling with the pervasive impact of abuse.
Definitely.
Let's delve into how Anna specifically portrays this profound psychological trauma and perhaps how it might connect to a broader societal context that, you might recognize.
Well, Anna's entire behavior, you could argue, is presented as a reflection of profound psychological trauma. The film explores how this cycle of abuse can actually lead victims to perpetuate their trauma into new relationships.
Right, repeating the patterns.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here, or maybe disturbing, is how it doesn't shy away from showing the emotional complexities of these patterns. It really challenges viewers to confront how deeply ingrained these struggles can be. It makes it much more than just a surface-level action movie.
And our sources really emphasize how the film connects Anna's personal struggle to these wider societal and systemic issues related to abuse.
Yes.
What does Anna implicitly or maybe explicitly say about how society or institutions often treat victims?
Well, by showcasing Anna's struggles against what's described as an unsupportive system, the film really emphasizes how societal structures often fail to protect abuse victims, and sometimes can even exacerbate their plight.
That's a heavy critique.
It is. It's a stark commentary. And this theme, it strongly resonates with audiences, I think, because it reflects these enduring challenges faced by survivors. It echoes sentiments found in earlier works, like the sources mentioned Dangerous Intentions, which tackled similar issues back when they maybe weren't as openly discussed. It shows how persistent these societal feelings truly are.
Okay, so the film tries to weave this incredibly complex tapestry of strength, vulnerability, systemic issues, quite ambitious.
Very.
But how did all of this land with critics and audiences? What was the critical reaction, especially when it came to its, quote, feminist messaging?
Well, the film received a decidedly mixed critical reception.
Okay, not surprising maybe.
Perhaps not. While Sasha Luss's performance was often called out as undeniably captivating, critics noted the film often struggles with its feminist messaging. In their words, it was sort of oscillating between empowerment and objectification.
That classic tension.
Exactly. Some even argued it leaned towards being and this is a direct quote, lecherous exercise in female objectification. Yeah, what that implies is, even when the film tried to show Anna's strengths and her agency, it would often visually, linger on her in ways that felt exploitative, almost reducing her to just an attractive figure rather than emphasizing her deeper struggles or her capabilities.
And that obviously detracts.
It clearly detracted, for those critics, from any genuine empowerment narrative it might have been aiming for.
That tension between empowerment and objectification, it seems to be such a persistent challenge in action cinema with female leads, doesn't it?
It really does.
How does Anna specifically fit into, or maybe even contribute to, these broader discussions about women in film, particularly in the context of recent cultural shifts like the #MeToo movement?
Well, it absolutely sparked considerable discussion. No doubt about that. And it reflects that broader cultural conversation we're having regarding the portrayal of strong female characters, empowerment, and also exploitation, especially given the timing with #MeToo.
Right.
While it's certainly part of a, growing movement to try and present more multidimensional female characters.
Which is good.
Which is positive, yes.
Mhm.
But critics highlighted its reliance on tropes that depict female characters as both empowered and objectified, often in the same breath. This duality, they argued, could potentially confuse audiences about what its intended message actually was.
Leading to mixed signals.
Exactly, leading to a very polarized audience response, it seems. It really speaks to this ongoing struggle within the industry, doesn't it? Trying to balance truly strong female representation with narratives that do not, even unintentionally perhaps, diminish their agency.
So, as we've journeyed through Anna, we've seen a film attempting to present this protagonist who is both incredibly strong, resilient even, yet she's undeniably shaped by profound trauma and caught in these cycles of abuse. It's a film that, despite its mixed reception, certainly sparks a crucial conversation about the complex, often paradoxical nature of female strength and vulnerability in what can be a very exploitative world.
Yeah, and the film Anna, it presents this nuanced portrayal, really avoiding simplifying abuse into just a good versus evil narrative, which is tempting sometimes.
Much easier.
Much easier. Instead, it sort of challenges viewers to consider the fine line between being a victim and potentially becoming an aggressor themselves. It illustrates how the scars of abuse can lead to both deep vulnerability and resilience. And this leaves us with a fascinating question, I think. Does true empowerment come purely from overcoming trauma? or perhaps from learning to wield the very resilience that's born from it. Anna's story suggests these scars. They can lead to both profound vulnerability and surprising strength. It leaves us wondering, how do you define real strength when it's forged in that kind of crucible?
A truly thought-provoking deep dive indeed. Thank you for joining us.